So let's start energy sources.
When board is coming half.
So if in electrical science, if we talk about source and load, so first we need to see what are the source, what are the load. Please switch off your mic. Everyone, please switch off your mic. If you have any queries, please drop the message, na? So I'll be see easily because in recording it would
Ma'am, message
feel
option is not
something.
coming.
My voice is not coming.
Ma'am, message option
Is
is
it
not
so?
coming.
Please refresh your network because others can see it. Others can do it properly. Okay. Refresh your network. Energy sources. If we talk about energy first, na? So first we need to see why we are talking about energy sources. If I start from any circuit, I'll be having one source. This is my source. Source is giving the supply. We have studied source considered an active component. Supply to any load. Load is what? Load may be anything. It may be, it may be who wants to join. Okay. Load may be anything. Maybe resistor, maybe any bulb, maybe any motor. So broadly we say it is load. Broadly we say it is source. Between source and load, we may find so many components. Components are as resistors, capacitors, inductors. We have seen. So if we see few resistors there, they take drop. If we see inductors, yes, again they stores energy. If we see capacitors, again they stores few energy. If I talk about that inductor, that's stored as kinetic energy. If I talk about capacitor, you know that they get stored as a potential energy. Okay, so potential energy is being stored by L C, kinetic energy by L, and the dissipation in terms of let's say the drop, voltage drop is being taken by R. So there are so many components in between source and load. Okay, and load may be anything, any resistor, any bulb, any motor, anything across which we are going to measure the readings, measure the output. Okay, so between source and load, we have seen so many components. So now we talk about source today, the energy sources. Broadly, I can categorize my energy sources in few classifications. We'll see the classification. Right, the first, that is, the first classification is wall outlet. Why it is wall outlet? It is also known as line supply. Line, line supply, which comes in a domestic application. It is also known as single phase of supply. In farm or field application, we take or few domestic applications are also using second way, two-way supply, two-phase supply. Normally, three-phase supplies are used in the farmer application in the field. Okay, so wall outlet is the line voltage supply, 220 volt AC signal 50 hertz, which we see in a domestic application. Fine. Net phase, solar photovoltaic, say photovoltaic cells. Photovoltaic cells means what? These are basically solar cells which take energy from the prime source of energy. Who is the prime source of energy? Do you know that? Sun. Sun is the prime source of energy. So solar photovoltaic cell will take the energy from the prime source and convert it into according our application. We know that. And this is the most happening point nowadays, most happening topic. And you'll see in coming few years, you'll find solar panels everywhere wherever the energy is being dissipated, is consumed. So it is the best way because uh, sun's energy, the prime energy source, sun will not be deviated. It is always there. Means until the earth is there, the solar energy prime energy source sun is there. So we can convert that into according our application. So we use that. We have seen this energy source as solar energy. The next is batteries. Yes. Again, we know about the batteries. Batteries are used wherever you want to store, you want to directly use that DC supply. It is the all DC supply comes under this. Now, fourth one is you must be aware wind and hydro generated. Wind and hydro. Specifically, these energies are created or generated in the remote areas where we can find the like a good amount of wind and the water supply is there. So we can convert those natural sources of energy into some other specific energy sources, some other specific type which is being used in practical application. Okay, like wind application, wind energy is converted into electrical. The water falling energy is converted into electrical energy. So these are also some energy sources. Now among these, we have seen this in our domestic application 220 volt 50 hertz AC supply and solar. We have seen that solar also, and we have seen batteries also. We can use batteries. We've used batteries, DC batteries in so many applications. And wind and hydro, you might have visited some places. Okay, so we'll talk about two energies here. This AC supply, line supply, and batteries. We'll talk about these two in detail in our subject, not in solar and wind hydro. These are the type of energy sources. So first, in few modules, chapter, I think first or second modules covers this, and then we talk about AC line supply. So this is what the energy source bifurcation or classification. Okay, now if I come to energy sources, the session is being recorded, so you may take energy sources broadly categorized in two parts, current and voltage. Okay, now again, current divides in two parts, voltage divides in two parts. I think you must be aware AC and DC. AC and DC. We are aware energy sources are of current and voltage source, AC and DC, again AC and DC. So first we talk about how we represent, it. Do you know how we represent it? Yes. If I talk about current energy sources, current energy source is always represented by arrow. Okay, arrow along with this is the terminal voltage VT, voltage source represents by, sometimes it is represented by V like this, and sometimes some cases it is instead of arrow it is represented by plus minus. It doesn't matter, it will always be plus, it will always be minus. In some practical batteries application, we can change it, we can see the flow of direction is changing. So right now I'm just taking example, this terminal is positive, this terminal is negative, because I've connected my energy source in this way. Okay, so this is the representation of current source, this is the representation of voltage source. If voltage source is DC, it is represented by this plus minus, and if it is AC, we know that AC is represented by this. Okay, so this is the representation of, right now I'm giving you the idea of DC, representation of energy sources, current and voltage. Now, if we start from the current source is also represented by these two. So don't get stuck. This is also the representation of current source. Okay, those circles overlap with each other. So this is also the representation of current source. So don't get confused. These two are similar. So now, if we talk about energy sources in detail, we can see the energy source in two parts: ideal and practical. In our previous topic, we have seen ideal and practical in a broad way. Now we see in detail, just go into detail. What is ideal? Which is completely hypothetical, which is not existing any practical situation. So why we consider ideal if it is not happening, it is not using in any circuit, if we are not using it. So why we are talking about those? Yes, Shivam, do you have any question? Now come to ideal characteristics. Ideal characteristics. Ideal characteristics of any. First we take voltage, then we take current. So let's talk about voltage and here current. I've divided my mode in two parts. Here we take voltage and the current. So if I talk about ideal voltage source, we know that ideal voltage source is what? The voltage source which is ideal. The definition says voltage source which is ideal, but the exact definition says ideal voltage sources are those voltage sources which is giving you constant voltage at various loads. If we are changing the load, what is load? It may be resistor, bulb, motor, anything. If we are changing the load, the, the voltage will not be changed. So that is what the ideal voltage source. If we need to draw the characteristics, what is characteristics? Characteristics gives you the response of one parameter, one dependent for a parameter with respect to independent parameter. So what it is, if you remember the diagram which I've mentioned you previously, if you can see, if you can draw the VI characteristics, it is known as VI characteristics, voltage current characteristics. Okay? So if we talk about VI characteristics, let's take the voltage characteristics first. So this is my I, which is I is what? I is the independent parameter. I is the load current. You can write it as load current. I is my output current, load current, and this is my voltage, which is the voltage source, output voltage, how much voltage source is generating. So this is my dependent parameter. But right now, if I talk about ideal, it means my voltage source will not be depending on any other parameter, will not be depending on any other load. Then only it is ideal. So how it is? My ideal, my load current, whatever the load current, my voltage is always constant. It means my voltage will remain, suppose it is VT, terminal voltage, V0, let's say. Terminal voltage is the output voltage. Let's say this is my V0. So my V0, let's say 5 volt. If load is connected with resistor, doesn't matter. V is always constant. This must be constant, straight line. If load at the load position, let's say one motor is connected, still it is V0. Let's say here bulb is connected, still it is V0. So my independent parameter is always constant. It is not depending on any other. Come what may. It will always give you 5 volt. That is what the ideal characteristic. But if I talk about the current, let's see the current characteristic. Just minute before I have given you the diagram of current source, you can see VT there. That is the terminal voltage or the output voltage across which your load is connected. And this is the current I, which is being generated by the current source. And this is my level of I0, let's say 5 ampere at any time. Because I've considered, I've taken example of 5 ampere, so I'm drawing it here. So come what may, but doesn't matter what kind of device is connected at the output. It is always I0. It will remain constant throughout duration. That is what the ideal characteristic. It won't change. If it changes, it becomes practical. But ideal says it won't change on anything. My dependent parameters are always constant. My dependent parameters are always constant. Okay. So if you are changing the load current, if the load is changing, the voltage is changing, doesn't matter. Current remains constant, voltage remains constant. But what happens when any practical situation comes? Okay. So we'll see this is the ideal characteristics of voltage source, ideal characteristics of current source. Fine. So if you can see it, I'm rubbing it and I'm removing it. designing the same with the practical. Look at here carefully. Now this is my practical. Let's see. We'll design practical. We'll see how these ideal characteristics will be changed. But before that, first we need to check what the practical voltage sources are. If you remember, practical voltage sources are those sources which consider the internal resistance. If you remember my last class, this is Rn. Rn is also known as RS, series resistance. Please don't get confused. Similar. I is the current. So this is the practical voltage source. If we talk about practical current source, this is the RSH. SH represents shunt. SH represents shunt. So this is the practical voltage source. What it is? Voltage source along with the series resistance Rin or Rs is considered as practical voltage source. Fine. And this is the terminal voltage. And it's not only this circuit. This is a part of any circuit. It may consist a very complicated part. So I'm taking the example of this only. So in this case, the complete dash box is my energy source. Here again,
Ma'am, upper part is not
sorry,
visible.
my
मैम कांट
audio
सी
is not
कीबोर्ड
visible.
मैम ब्लैक बोर्ड में बहुत छोटी स्क्रीन
मैम योर व्हाइट बोर्ड इज नॉट विजिबल
बताओ
Proper blackboard is not visible. Is it so? Now
कांट
can
सी
you see?
फुल बोर्ड
Yes, yes, ma'am.
हाफ बोर्ड इज देयर
So this is the practical voltage source where I've taken the voltage source along the series resistance. Fine. And this is a terminal voltage. This is a practical current source. Why it is practical? Because instead of sending complete current to the circuit, it is giving some less current. How? Let's see. If you can see it clearly, current I is created till this. I is I. I is creating. Now, after this point, this I is dividing in two parts. Which part? One part which is going through the internal resistance, or it is being dropped across its own terminal. You can say it. ISH. I name the term as ISH. And the rest of the part is going through the circuit. This is I. It means, suppose in previous case, this is 5 ampere current source. In the previous ideal case, it is producing 5 ampere to complete circuit. But now it is not producing 5 ampere current, complete current. Some part, let's say 0.5 ampere. 0.5 ampere is dividing into its equivalent resistance. Its internal resistance, sorry. So 4.5 ampere will be provided for the complete circuit. So this is the practical current source, if you can see it. Now, what happen in case of characteristics? When we talk about ideal, this is what the ideal. Practical circuit के लिए can we apply Kirchhoff's voltage law? A simple equation for this circuit. Yes, we can apply. Yes, we can apply. See here, V is equals to what I is flowing. So R in I plus VT. This is my equation. For this case, yes, I can write the equation. I is dividing in two parts. Which part? One is which is flowing through the the shunt resistance, which is the internal resistance of source, which is ISH. The other is remaining current, which is flowing through the circuit. So this is the equation for my practical voltage source. Total voltage divide into two parts. Practical current source, total current divide into two parts. One part is flowing through the internal resistance. One part is voltage ka one part is dropping across Rn. What Rin does, what Rin or Rs does, they just take the drop from the supply and make them practical. But in ideal cases, it was zero. So this complete part was zero. Okay. So V is equals to Vt. 5 volt you are applying, you will get 5 volt. I repeat it. In ideal cases, R in was zero. Okay, so if Rn is 0, this complete part was 0. This complete part was 0 in case of ideal. So your complete 5 volt is at terminal as 5 volt. This is what the ideal case. Okay, so we have seen that characteristics in case of ideal. But what happened? How the voltage is changing? Our voltage is now reducing. For how much time? This drop. पहले 5 volt exactly 5 volt पे जा रहा था, but now it has been reduced by which amount? Reduced by this amount due to practicality. So RNI would be the drop, which is, who wants to join in between? Okay, so now instead of giving me constant current, my voltage is reduced. Reduced means some drop is there. This is the practical characteristic. If you can see it, ideal, and this is the drop. How much? This is R in I due to internal resistance drop. Okay, so this is the practical circuit characteristics, VI characteristics of voltage source. First, draw the practical energy source, then draw the ideal characteristics, and then draw the practical characteristics. So ideal characteristics deviate from the drop, because in ideal case it was 0, but in practical case it's there. So that's why the graph is shifted. And in practical current source, if you can see, again the total current, let's say 5 ampere, when this RSH was 0, not 0, infinite. When it comes 0, it makes short circuit. It was infinite practically in the previous case ideally. So when this was 0, so ISH was 0, then this 0, then 5 ampere is totally sent to the load circuit. Okay, doesn't matter. But in case of practical, we have seen that RSH is present. If RSH is present, so my practical characteristics graph will be deviating from ideal value. And how much it is deviating? This VT upon RSH. Calculate the value of I. I is equals to what? इसका formula लिख सकते हो ना? I is equals to what? V upon R. And how much V? This V. See, the voltage in the parallel, in the shunt is always constant. So this VT voltage should be similar to this. Okay? This VT will be dropped across this RSH. Same. So if this VT is dropping here, it means the value of ISH is what? V upon R. RSH. So that's why I've written from the ideal, my practical characteristics is being shifted. How much? This part. VT upon RSH. So this is the previously ideal characteristics, and this is the practical characteristics. Which practical? The voltage practical, the current practical characteristics. Okay, so these are the simple criteria of ideal and practical phenomena. And I think we have taken the example of bilateral, unilateral, and all. So let's talk about one more interesting topic, that is independent and dependent energy sources. Write it complete. As its name shows, independent and dependent energy sources. So yes, do we have any energy sources which are depending or independent? Yes, we have few energy sources which are depending and other are independent. So let's take independent, and these are dependent. Dependent energy source, independent energy source. See, we can classify the energy sources in various categories. Okay, and this is one of the categories. We have seen the first category, voltage and current. Next category, ideal and practical. This could be one of the categories. Independent and dependent energy sources. Fine. So as its name shows, have you ever seen any independent energy sources? Independent, as its name shows, independent energy sources are those energy sources which are independent of anything. Of what? Independent of any other parameters of the circuit. Independent. And energy sources which are depending on some other values, some other circuit, some other parameters. So till class, till 11, 12, and till this topic we have studied, we have seen all elements, all energy sources which comes under independent. Why? Because we haven't talked about anything dependency. Okay. So component or the energy sources which are depending on, just give me 1 minute. I need complete board. Is it visible? Because light is not there.
Yes, ma'am.
So till
Yes, ma'am.
till we have seen batteries. So all components we have studied till now, they all comes under independent category. Let's take example. First, suppose I'm taking example of any energy source. This is 5 volt DC supply. Let's say R1, R2, R3. I'm just taking example of simple source. See, you can see my 5 volt is not depending on any other component. You can see if I've written here 5 volt, it will generate 5 volt. It will create always 5 volt. It will give the circuit 5 volt, whatever current is flowing. It is not depending on R1, R2, or R3. What exactly these R1, R2, R3 does? They just take the drop as V1. They just take the drop as V2. They just take the drop as V3. Yes, they take the drop, but generator is 5 volt. 5 volt is not depending on any other parameters. So this kind of circuit, where this kind of energy sources which are not depending on any other parameters are considered as independent energy sources, as its name shows. Independent. They are not depending on any other thing. Okay. So still we have seen independent energy sources. What is dependent then? If we write one circuit and we see the circuit in this way, please be in the habit of writing your notes. Now, in the circuit, let's brush up the previous parameters in briefly. Now, in the circuit, we can see we have two energy sources. So we can say two active elements in the circuit. What are the active elements which generate energy in the circuit? So first is 15 volt supply, and one source is there, one other source is there. We'll see what exactly it is. And few passive components. Passive components are R1, R2, R3, R4, I5. Okay, they all are connected with the branches. Okay, they all are connected with the branches, or we can say in practical circuit we see it as a wire. So all energy sources connect along with the passive, they are connected with wires. Fine. You can see here this is written as 15 volt. Fine. So this type of 15 volt source is not depending on any other thing. If it is written 15, so it will generate 15 volt. Ideally, yeah, man, notice. So ideal energy source 15 volt generate karega. Now come to this topic, this other source. This is 5V2. The energy source is rated as 5V2. And V2 is what? You can see V2 here. V2 is what? The drop across R2 resistance is V2. It means to know the value of voltage generated by this energy source, first I should calculate the value of V2. Then I put the value of V2 here, and then I can get the value of voltage which is being generated by this. So this type of voltage sources, this type of energy sources, which are depending on some other parameter of the circuit. The other parameters may be current, voltage, drop, anything, power. So if this source is depending on some other value of the circuit, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, anything. So this source is known as dependent energy sources. Now, how the dependency can be considered? How can we see the sources? Let's talk about the type of dependent energy source. Let's talk about the type. How many sources are there? Basically, two categories, current and voltage. Current and voltage. Okay. So this is the voltage source. You can see because plus minus is there, some volt is there. Okay. And this voltage source is depending on what? V2. And dependency parameter is also voltage. So I can say this voltage source is voltage dependent voltage source. Okay. Voltage dependent why? Because it is depending on voltage. So this is voltage dependent voltage source. Write it again, 5V2. So this comes under voltage dependent voltage source. I hope you get this idea. वोल्टेज पे डिपेंड है, वोल्टेज सोर्स है, दैट इज व्हाई वोल्टेज डिपेंडेंट वोल्टेज सोर्स. ओके, नाउ कम टू दिस other question. Now 5I2 now you can see the source. Here you can see the current source is rated as 5I3. 5I3. It means to know the value of current which is generated by this. First, I have to know the value. I have to calculate the value of I3. I3 is what? You can see here. I3 is the current which is flowing through R3. Okay? The current which is flowing through R3 is parameter which is multiplied with 5 is my current energy. Fine. So this type of current source is depending on current. I repeat, this type of current source is depending on current. So this type of energy source is known as current dependent current source. So we have seen the first category as current dependent current source and voltage की category में voltage dependent voltage source. Now we may make combination, two more combination. How? I can say this source as, see, it is depending on V2. And which type of source? Current. So I can say this is voltage dependent current source. The source is current but depending on voltage. So once you are not aware about the V2, you cannot calculate the current which is being generated. So it means it is depending on voltage and it is type of current. So मैं current की category में लिख सकती हूँ. क्या लिखेंगे? Voltage dependent current source. Okay. So we have seen two categories of current source dependency में. One is current dependent current source, other is voltage dependent current source. So in voltage also we can see two types of category, plus minus 5, let's say I3. So this is what? Listen it carefully. Depending on I3, source is voltage. So I can name the source as current dependent voltage source. Okay. Depending on current and though it is voltage source. So क्या बोलेंगे? Current dependent voltage source. Second is current dependent voltage source. So if you can't see it properly, I'm like giving you the brief. First is current dependent current source. Second is current dependent voltage source. Third is voltage dependent current source, and fourth is voltage dependent voltage source. Now we draw the symbols for each or every one. Okay, so we have, on the basis of dependency, we have four types of dependent energy source. Okay, four types of dependent energy source. One is dependency is on current and type of source is current. Okay, dependency is current, type of source is voltage. Dependency is voltage and type of source is current. Dependency is voltage, type of source is voltage. So I can write the symbol for each or every one. And this symbol should be represented in a circuit only. Na? So I'll write the symbol here. Current dependent current source. So I can write any current source. Let's take anything. I2. So I can write 3I2, let's say. 3I2. And I2 is some other parts current. ये I2 है. I'm just taking an example. Don't get stuck. The type of source is current. Dependency parameter is also current. Fine. In next case, you can write type of source is current, but the dependency parameter is voltage. Okay. Type of sources is current, dependency parameter is voltage. Third one, type of source is voltage, but the dependency is current. 3I1. Fine. The next one, the last one is, you can write, इसको मैं यहाँ बना रही हूँ. Type of source is voltage, but the dependency is also voltage. But again, I'm giving you the idea, these cannot be written in this way. It must be the part of any circuit. When in examination it comes, you have to write, you have to assume one circuit in which I2 should be there somewhere else. V2 should be across any element. I1 must be through any branch. V2 must be across some element. So we can say dependency and energy sources are what? Which are depending on any other element of the circuit. Other elements may be the resistor, the drop across any resistor, maybe the current flowing through any branch. Okay, so the dependency parameters is always written. And if we have two types of components, so unique combination of two can be 2 raised to power 3. It means 4. 4 unique combinations can be there. So 4 unique combinations are what? Current dependent current source, voltage dependent voltage source, current dependent voltage source, and voltage dependent current source. So when you see it first, when you draw some circuits, you'll be able to identify all those dependent energy sources. So till we have seen few parameters, which is the features or the parameters of electrical science, which is very very important once we start the electrical science circuit. Okay, so I think we have considered bipolar, unipolar components, bilateral, unilateral components, active and passive components, and today we have seen all energy sources. Energy sources we have considered dependency and dependent and independent energy sources, and the node and junctions we have seen, and I think we have covered almost all topics. From my last class, I can say I think we have covered 5-6 topics, 5-6 points of parameters of electrical science. Today we have covered energy sources along with the practical ideal concept, VI characteristics, and the next is dependent and independent energy sources. In next class, we'll see KVL and KCL. So we'll start with the KVL and KCL concept. But before starting KVL and KCL, you must be aware about the flow of current. Flow of current. Okay, this must be known first. Okay, branches you must be known. And nodes and junctions. Nodes, junction, branches, batteries. Okay, potential drop. Power. All must be clear. Flow of electron, you must be aware how the electrons will be flowing. If electrons are flowing, what will be the flow of current? Branches are simply the wires through which your active or passive components are connected. Nodes and junctions we have seen. Batteries, I mean DC batteries. Right now we take only DC batteries. Potential drop, the voltage drop across passive components and all, and the power, which is being dissipated across any passive component. Okay, so first we need to remember all the definitions of this. Then we start KVL and KCL in my next class. Okay, now who is the CR of class? Who is the CR of the class?